Hey, what's up guys? In today's video we're going to be talking all about BSMD programs and are they really worth it? I'm making this video in collaboration with Pre-Med George, so make sure to check out his channel if you're interested in being a pre-med or just college life in general. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. So, you may be wondering, what exactly is a BSMD program? Well, BSMD itself stands for Bachelor of Science, Doctor of Medicine. These are programs offered by universities that usually guarantee one or more of these three things: exemption from medical school requirements, including taking the MCAT, research hours, volunteer hours, an accelerated path to a medical degree, and contingent acceptance into a medical school upon acceptance into the BSMD program. Some famous examples of these programs include Brown's PLME program, my personal favorite, University of Rochester's REMS program, Baylor's B2B program, and University of Pittsburgh GAP program. These are all highly competitive programs, far more competitive than most Ivy League universities. So in the next clip, George will be talking about what type of students should be applying to BSMD programs.
Now that you know what BSMD programs are, the question is, what type of students should even be applying to BSMDs? Firstly, it's good to know that BSMD programs require students to have super strong academics, which means high test scores, have a high class rank, and take rigorous coursework throughout high school. Firstly, I would recommend you to have at least a 1400 on the SAT to even consider applying, and here's why. Many programs require the student to have at least a certain SAT. For example, Baylor requires you to have at least a 1430 to even be considered, so you can imagine the average SAT for the student who is applying. And for more extreme cases, UPitt's BSMD, they require you to have at least a 1490 on your SAT, which means that the average applicant in that pool will have probably a 1520. And even though they do have a test optional option, that just means they will weigh your stats, extracurriculars, and academics more heavily. So don't let the SAT sag down, or that will definitely decrease your chances. Second, have a high class rank, which means be at least top 5% of your class. And the reason being is because many BSMDs have a GPA cutoff, and many require you to be at least in the top 10%. So making top 5% will definitely help you, trust me. Third, having rigorous coursework. Throughout high school, I want you to take the hardest classes you can take, whether it's IB, AP, or dual credit, just whatever your school offers. Take advantage of those opportunities and have 4s or 5s to be competitive. Second, BSMD programs are also looking for students who are committed to science and medicine, which is shown through medical shadowing, which I would advise you have at least 100 hours. Medical volunteering, which I advise you to have at least 300 hours. And also have some sort of laboratory or clinical research experience. Like have a research paper or something to show that you've actually been in the laboratory, right? And another factor that BSMDs consider is they want you to be able to answer these three questions. 1, why do you want to pursue medicine? 2, why do you want to be a doctor? Because there's many careers in the field of healthcare. Why do you want to be a doctor specifically? And number 3, how can their program cater to your path? Since each program is different, it's good to do research on the program you're applying to and write about how their resources at their program will help you along your path.
Now that we know what type of student should be applying to BSMD programs, let's get into the pros and cons of BSMD programs. Starting off with the pros, these include a usually exempt or lower score requirement for the MCAT, an accelerated path to a medical degree which can help you become a doctor faster and save you money by skipping 1 to 2 years of your undergraduate program, guaranteed medical school, which is the biggest benefit of all, having a cohort of students that you can form strong bonds with from the undergraduate years all the way until you attain your medical degree, and a lower stress during your undergraduate years because of that guaranteed medical school. A lot of these pros stem from the guaranteed medical school. In the next clip, George will get into the cons of BSMD programs.
Now that you've seen the pros of attending a BSMD program, we're going to go into the cons. And one of them being is attending an institution for a prolonged period of time. In contrast to college where you're spending 4 years at a university, for a BSMD program you're spending to around 6 to 8 years. And if you're out of state, you're going to be spending less time with your family. And this is definitely one thing to consider of how often you would like to see your family and if attending an out-of-state institution is right for you. And another issue with the BSMD program is the lack of testing experience that BSMD students normally get, because since for contingent acceptance, many BSMD programs just require the student to achieve an MCAT score of in the 80th percentile or achieve a GPA of at least a 3.8, and many even don't require to take the MCAT. Well, this does relieve a lot of stress, which is why many students are drawn to it, but according to statistical analysis, BSMD students are coming out with less test experience in contrast to the pre-med students. This is because pre-med students have to fulfill higher standards, right? To get into med school, you're trying to achieve a 4.0 GPA, and you're trying to score a good MCAT score of at least in the 90th or 95th percentile. So this is just one of the issues with the BSMD programs right now. So that is also why many BSMD programs are closing. Like you may have heard the Northwestern BSMD program, which existed, or the Rice and Baylor BSMD program, which also has been closed down. And another con is the less options you get, the less time to explore in college, right? Since we all know college is a good time to explore and see what you really like to do, because as an 18-year-old fresh from college, you probably have no idea what you want to do. So college is a good place for that. And the BSMD program may offer you less opportunities to explore outside of the pre-med path. And that kind of goes for many BSMD programs, right? Because you're also unable to change your pathway midway. So whether that means you want to pursue outside of the pre-med path or you want to graduate early, you have to commit to those years. So let's say you're able to graduate in 7, but you're in an 8-year BSMD program, you have to do 8. So that's one thing to consider for sure. And apart from actually attending the BSMD program, I'm going to go into just the application process. Let me just say it's super time consuming. And if you're going to be applying, make sure to start early. So around the summer of junior year, to give you enough time to fill out those supplementals and to save stress later on in the year, because senior year is a time to actually enjoy high school, right? It's your last year, so make the most of it. And another part of the BSMD program is it's pretty stressful, so definitely consider that.
So George, after all we discussed in this video, do you think that BSMDs are worth it?
I think it really depends on the student. For me, even though I wasn't able to get accepted, I did a couple interviews, and these interviews actually gave me some experience in the interview room, because I haven't applied to a BSMD program. I probably wouldn't get any interviews.
Yeah, I think I agree with your point. Yeah, it does depend on the type of person, because I think going into the BSMD application process, I was more enthused with the idea of a direct admittance into a medical school without really thinking about the commitment. Like, I'm being committed to that pathway at such an early age. So I'd say for those who have had experiences with medicine that have solidified that desire to be a doctor, then that could be a good path. But for those who are still questioning whether medicine is really that career that they want to do, I'd say maybe hold off. Apply as a pre-med so you can have those undergraduate experiences. And so I do think we've arrived at our answer. BSMDs seem to be worth it for those who are very dedicated to that path of medicine. But if you are not completely dedicated to that path of medicine, which I'm assuming most high schoolers who are applying to college aren't, then I'd say hold off on the BSMD programs, have that pre-med experience, have those challenging experiences studying for the MCAT, volunteering, doing research. Those will all either tell you, no, medicine isn't the path for me, or they'll be reinforcing that idea, yes, this is medicine, this is what I love to do, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to go off of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So, BSMD, for being honest, is super straightforward, and there's not much room to explore. So again, it's for those that actually settle down for wanting to become a doctor, because you have to consider that the healthcare field is pretty broad. You don't have to become a doctor. And the BSMD program is just for those that want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And I really think, the pre-med is also a good option. I think the reason people go for the BSMD is because the pre-med path is going to be so hard, so busy, so cutthroat. But people also have to really consider that many of these BSMD programs are often harder than a pre-med track. They're actually putting more work, especially like the young PC, which is like 6 years. People may think like, oh, 6 years, I'll get like into med school early, and I'll be able to start earning money and support my family. But there's a lot of stress involved, right? And one important thing is also your health, right? Your mental well-being, and sometimes just taking your time is also a good thing, right?
Exactly.
You get to experience more, especially for those that who do take MCAT as a pre-med, are actually prepared for like other tests that come later on, like the USMLE for residency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we definitely agree on that point. I just don't like the idea of like rushing to become a doctor, because you become a doctor and you choose to become a doctor and you choose to follow the path of medicine because you know it's going to be a very long and a very arduous path. But that really filters out the people who want to do medicine for medicine, not for money, not for like fame or anything like that. So I think like that accelerated part, it can be like a double-edged sword, because of course you can be a doctor very quickly, but do you want to become a doctor very quickly? That's the idea. Are you going to be as prepared as other individuals? So yeah, given all those points, I think we just come back to that same idea of, if you're very committed to the path of medicine and you know that's what you want to do, maybe you've had high school like volunteering activities that like have made you very passionate about it, then BSMDs would be like the natural step to apply to. But again, I'm not sure that any high schooler right out of high school is ready to commit to a path of medicine. So maybe you can start applying to it, like apply to a few maybe as an option that you could consider when you're considering what, after all of your applications have been submitted and you have your decisions, whether you can weigh it and weigh those options. But I think if you're very shaky about the path of medicine, and if you're not sure that you want to do it, then I don't even think BSMDs are worth considering, because BSMDs will guarantee you either guaranteed medical school, an accelerated path to medicine, where you skip most of the med school requirements. That is a path made for people who want to be doctors. So if you're not even sure about medicine, then I don't even think you should be considering BSMDs.
Yeah, I just want to add on to that, like the different category of programs similar to BSMDs. Like I know a lot of high school students are kind of wanting to become doctors, and they're just worried that they're gonna get rejected.
Yeah.
And then the program I'm going to talk about, the early assurance programs.
Yeah, yeah.
That you can apply. You can apply in sophomore or junior year, and then if you get into the program, you basically have a reserved seat in that medical school, and as long as you keep your grades up and your GPA higher, you'll definitely get in. So that's another one to consider.
Exactly.
And for those programs, you don't have to I don't think you have to commit to going to medical school. It's just a seat safety. So there's really a lot of room to explore if you don't want to be a doctor.
That's another good option. Other than, so when you enter college, I know the University of Delaware has one with, I believe, Thomas Jefferson School of Medicine, where it's after your first year, after your second year at the university, then you can apply for an early assurance program, so that if you keep your grades up, as you said, then you get accepted into the university. There are some BSMD, I will say maybe some warnings. There are some BSMD programs, like I believe Seton Hall's, where they guarantee you an interview for the medical school. And I believe one of Temple Universities is like that. Maybe those may not be worth your time, because the appeal for a BSMD program is that direct acceptance into medical school, that guaranteed contingent acceptance to medical school. If you're just doing it for an interview, so you're not even having guaranteed medical school, then I don't think those applications are worth your time. That's just something I wanted to add to the end, but I think we have our answer. Yeah,
definitely. And one more thing I want to add is the fact that
you're good.
Since we already did cover that, you have to continue going down the BSMD path.
Exactly.
And one of the things that happened at the end, like I know someone who's like in the Baylor medical track, but the thing is they've already completed so many credits in high school that they can basically graduate in 7 years and 8. But however, Baylor wants to complete all those 8 years.
Yeah.
So if you want to graduate early, that's one thing to consider.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you, Pre-Med George, for collaborating with me on this video. I really appreciate it. You had some really good insights. believe we were able to have a very good discourse about this. So yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, man. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys.
Yeah, make sure to go to Pre-Med George, check out his videos. If you're a pre-med, #1 channel for that. We gotta get our pre-meds up. We gotta keep on supporting each other. But with that, Don, have a good day, and I'll see you around, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hope to collaborate with you sometime on another video.
Sounds good. See ya. Alright, and with that, we are done the video. Thank you guys for watching. Special thanks to Pre-Med George for collabing. I'll link his channel in the description. Also, we just hit 400 subscribers, so thank you all for the support. I know the content's been a bit slow, but I promise I'll pick it back up soon. Also wanted to let you know that I've officially launched my college consultation business. The website's linked on my YouTube page, my Instagram. I'll link it in the description below. Very excited for this opportunity. I know some people have been asking for it, so make sure to check it out. Alright, here are the end cards. If you want to subscribe, you can click on that button. If you want to watch a video just for you, you can click on the top right. And if you want to watch the video of my stats and extracurriculars that got me into a BSMD program, plus some Ivy League schools, you can watch that in the bottom left corner below. Thank you all. Goodbye.